Alright, bit of a later start today. Yeah, Melody doesn't work. Unlucky. Okay, now it works. We got a defense war, and then I wanted to do like a quick bug summary. Talk about a few builds I put together probably. I think that's gonna be our plan for today. Where are we facing today? Legion Havoc. Alright. But it's a bit more interesting than some of the previous ones. I feel like it probably will be another roll though, to be honest. I think some people did want some war guides too. I don't have that quite set up yet. I've been working on build guides for a while. Updates to this character since last time. Got stone form. Pretty sure people already knew this, but I had teardrop. I figured out that OPR gives you like 360 gold every time you do it. That's kind of pretty nice. That's a really good shield. That actually might be better than my current shield. Those are really good boots. Wait, what? Constitution, upheaval, early aversion? Yeah, that's not bad at all. I think I like the hasted vigor slightly more. Because it's just a permanent haste, but I might save those. This isn't bad either. Well, I got Tumbler too, but Tumbler's like pretty easy to get now. Enchanted Word Sturdy. The slash is better. Yeah, this one's better. Cool. So we got a shield upgrade. I don't know if I want to do OPR after this or just talk about new things. Like I definitely want to talk about bugs. It's like kind of where the game sits as a PvP like competitiveness standpoint, like where all the weapons are sitting, because there has been some updates to like what seems to be likely to be meta. But I think everyone can kind of figure it out just by playing like OPR open world. But certain weapons are a lot better this patch than they were last patch, and it's basically just due to how sticky they are. The weapons that have superior tracking and require you to dodge less to catch up to targets tend to be a little bit more popular in war settings. Gem and flail. I didn't put a gem in there yet. I haven't put a gem in here either. Gems are expensive right now, and it's like, I guess teardrop I probably can commit to putting a gem in because I'm probably going to keep that forever. This flail is like pretty mid. Like it has smite on it, which is nice, but nothing else on here like really matters. Honestly, this ice gauntlet's probably better than the flail. Like But the flail's a little bit more fun to play, so. One of those. Butcher's been really, really nice, though. I just wish I had, like, Ankh and some other things for my other slots. This Privateer's Heirloom has been pretty clutch. Even though it's strength, like, it's okay to have some strength with this build. And Purifying Heart is, like, amazing. It turns out Purifying Heart doesn't work with vines anymore. So if you have the vines with the debuff, Purifying Heart won't actually cleanse that, which is kind of interesting. Which I think makes it so that a lot of people are gonna switch off of vines, because there's certain roles that like could run it because there's no debuff, but like if you're an IGVG, it's really punishing to use the vines now. Like, you have to pop cleanse before you pop the vines, which is, like, really sketchy. What are these? It's a little costume. Just got the Abyss in my first ever EVC run, worth making a build around. The Abyss is, like, one of the best artifacts in the game, so I'd say, yeah, it's worth making a build around. Firestaff seems to be best with it. I don't think I finished making a build guide for the Abyss today, but I made so many build guides today, I was so productive. I recorded some videos for him too that I need to create thumbnails, but like, I think we had 2 yesterday and I made like 5 today so far. This one I'm not super happy with though. I think I need to move this to be light versus in medium. Like, it ended up with like kind of weird thresholds. Like, I feel like you want to hit 200, but then if you hit 200, I can't hit 150 unless I cut deckhand, but if I cut deckhand, then my empower situation isn't the best because I'm running Ankh. Well, and I have Ankh and I have Tumbler, so that helps with the empower a lot, but deckhand's just like guaranteed to hit the empower cap basically with those two. Because this is 15, this is 21, and then yeah, so you need deckhand. So it's like I don't hit 150 con with this, and then I was running it in medium with less than 150 con, which just felt weird. Like, I know some people that have done that in the past, but like, this build quality I think is a little bit worse than the other ones. The other ones are really good though. Like, this SNS Spear one's like very solid. Like, Leeching Cyclone, Hasted Vigor on there. Going for Upheaval now, I think Upheaval is going to be really, really good. And then going for Utility Scorpion. So you have Sword for a little bit more damage, Spear for a little bit more utility. Some people use Spear as a DPS thing. That's a little bit of a different build, but it looks really, really good. Honestly, anything in heavy and even light armor could take advantage of the heavy footwear if you run featherweight, and anything in heavy just has a lock-in for these 2 armor pieces, and they're just so strong. Like, a free keenly empowered or a free and keen speed is just insane, but you have to be able to do the sandworm. That's what it comes down to. Really want to do raids today. We have any things for raids after this war? Are we doing anything today? Thoughts on the full vampire build? Blood Drinker, Leeching, Shirking Heals, viable in PvE or PvP? Very viable. And well, if you run Shirking Heals, that only works in PvP, right? So I assume you're talking about PvP, but Blood Drinker is viable in PvE and in PvP. It's like, they printed this like new Warhammer. It's supposed to be a bunch of lifesteal that's like impossible to level up because it requires wearing it during like some of the harder raids. But it's like Blooddrinker's just better than that. Blooddrinker's really, really good if you have active hitting AoE abilities. I need to hop in this Discord too.
Anybody need to buy a ignited opal rune glass?
Stop, work, what?
You could set rune glass already?
I can, yes.
Oh, you got an
Oh
opal
my
rune
god.
I'm selling jewelry
I
matrix.
can. I can make all the matrices too.
Oh my
You get a
god.
rune
Oh
glass
my
on you for
god.
those.
Believe it or
Oh,
not,
yeah.
Trump is 250 weapon spending already.
Oh yeah.
How the
It only
fuck?
cost me 800,000 gold.
Jump, I need to see your fucking credit card statement ASAP.
Nah, you don't. Life.
What membership are you level now?
He's above platinum, bro.
That's what I'm
I'm,
saying.
I'm top tier.
God.
What is a lifeline for these guys?
I'm top tier. They
I just can't
respond
believe the dude was like,
24/7.
Where'd you
They
go?
reach out to you. Yeah, they literally reach out to you. They're like, "What are you playing?"
Jump
Yeah,
in
That's
the
like
call
second
center.
day of fresh, and
Yeah.
Jump sends a message, and the guy's
It'd
like,
probably be less
immediately,
expensive just to buy a couple of the endos, you know? Like,
That's what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying, bro.
just buy a building and put him in
Buy
there.
an endo.
I'm supporting the village over there. All right.
My
They're well
god.
fed.
That Warhammer looks awesome as a skin. Yeah, that's the main thing to use it for, is just the skin. Everything else is like not so great about it,
that'd
unfortunately.
be kind of dope, you know?
Would they do the vines?
Yeah.
So if you use Purifying Heart with vines now, it doesn't actually get rid of the
You know?
Google
Like,
my village.
exhaust.
Google my
So-
village.
Yo, that's the next name on Frag.
Like I was timing it, and it's like it's it's on slow mode because I was timing stuff. Speed
Where's console at? Where?
Bro,
faster.
I'm not
Speed
this fucking
faster.
bad.
He's in
So-
there, he was coming back.
But like normally it takes 4 seconds to recover your stand back to full, but if you use vines, even with
Oh,
Purifying Heart, it takes like 8
Who we
seconds,
missing in group 4?
and that's showing the Purifying Heart there. So basically,
Jaw yakking.
Pull grease into group
it's
4.
not really
what I'm
worth
saying,
it
Grease
to
is
run
like
vines
these
with
type
Purifying Heart
stuff,
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, bro.
Controller player.
I mean, it will strip the other buffs on you, I think,
Grease is it.
but
Look at
or the
that.
other debuffs on you, but it won't strip that one.
Nah, he declined
Wow. No way,
Wait,
he egoed it.
Break
What a
Bones
piece
is a
of shit,
controller
man.
player, 58. Bringing him in.
I don't know. Somebody else pulled somebody else in.
Yeah,
Get
break
the
bones.
GPH kid out.
Which weapon artifact should you use as healers? None. The only one that you can use as a healer is the Void Gauntlet.
Oh, poor GPA.
I have a build
Those
guide
are
for that
lamplights.
too that I wanted to put a video out tomorrow. I just need to make a thumbnail for it, and then we should be good.
Nah, breakbone. See if he accepts it.
Yes.
But
Level 58.
the
PlayStation.
life staff
Fuck
artifact
yeah,
like
buddy.
reduces your healing and increases your damage,
He just got
and I don't think that's really worth it. I might just mute in the Discord and just do a chill war here. I don't think this is gonna be too bad. I probably should have streamed earlier. I got 5 kills with a single keg and OPR. It was kind of funny. I put a keg down, lit it, and then I baited like 10 people, and then 5 people pulled off, and the other 5 did not see the keg and just blew up. It was so funny. And then I lived after too, and 2 people chased me around the map for 5 minutes and couldn't kill me on my fresh start build, and I have no gems basically. It's so funny. You guys are really good, man. I'm glad all the builds are really war focused. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make the build so it's like, hey, this is the best build you possibly can do, but it's like, if you don't have the gear, you can go for budget options. Like, I don't have, like, those BIS boots right now. I have, like, okay boots, and, like, it's perfectly fine. Like, some people are like, oh, can you make the builds more, like, easily obtainable? It's like, everyone's gonna have randomly generated gear, but I can tell you what to shoot for. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a war camp war. This is so bad already. Oh no. Like, unless they have, like, a lot of people doing a split right now, this is shocked. They look a little bit better than the last company that we faced, though. At least they're, like, running in kind of the right direction. might just accidentally save A because they're bored. Oh, we actually have mercs today. Last time we didn't have any mercs. Oh my god. Target lock is so stupid. They need to add mounts to war. I'm too slow. You guys playing a fun build, Spear Rapier? Eker, what could I find a bow rapier guide for season 6? I just put one together for bow hatchet, and it should be pretty similar. I could send you this one. Just like change the hatchet to a rapier and it's basically the same thing. Like use the artifact rapier instead of the hatchet there. Oh wait, no, you can't use the artifact rapier. Never mind, just use a normal rapier. Cause yeah, I have artifact bow in that. We're like debating trying to fit elemental band into that build, but it didn't really work out. Is there no timer? Did they bug the war so there's no timer anymore? It just says defend the points? Is that the new thing? I feel like every time I do a war there's a new bug. Yeah, it just says invitation will be sent out in 0 seconds. It doesn't have a timer. Huh. They're coming out staggered too is the funny part. Like if you're gonna leave the war camp together, you wanna all leave at the same time, not like this. Like we're just gonna run back and forth. Life staff OP ones from the raid, right? There's actually a better life staff from the... You can get this one from the PvP island, and it's like cheaper to upgrade than the raid ones. The problem is that they disabled upgrading right now. Lighting. Hatchet is like really strong right now. Blunderbuss is also pretty strong. Trying to keep my flail out to give these guys some power. Oh, I got a kill. It's pretty rare. Looks like a very competitive war. Trickling to their death. Yeah, no, I think it's like a baby's first war kind of moment. Last time we had like a baby's first war, we gave up the side points. And then we gave up B, and then we let them into fort, and we're like kind of nice to them. I don't know how this one will go. I've got to get a feel for how kegs work in these kind of wars before I start using them. Like, it looks like they're kind of the company that's just going to keep backing up, so I want to put kegs behind them, probably. This is why a Great Axe is still a good weapon. Believe it or not. Even without con, it is still good. I'm curious what Bruisers will do. I think what you should do is you should drop your con and just go more strength. But some people might just keep the same amount and do a little bit more strength now because you have bonus attributes and use it for a Warhammer or something like that. So this gives me a life steal and also weakens the people that hit me. So that guy like does no damage anymore. Some funny tech there. What's the general defense strat? Mostly give up 1 point, defend 2. Yeah, it's usually give up 1 point, defend B, C, and then try to give up B and then have C for last. People prefer C just over A just because you run out the right side of the gate on defense and like I don't know. It's like it's literally just people like playing right to left versus left to right. It's like just a preference thing. Like that part doesn't really matter too much. Some maps will have A as last if it's like a really big advantage to hold A last. But yeah, usually give up 1 point for free just because it's easier to hold 2 than it is to hold 3. Like some people have done 3-point holds and it can work, but you need to have like really good rotations. You need to have people intercepting rotations. It just gets really complicated. And then to counter that, a lot of people on attack will send like a large amount of people to the first point just to guarantee it. And then you'll rotate like some of those people off later on. This guy is playing musket with a shield. That is creative. They nerfed the distance on that by quite a bit. Got some fellow whirlwinders. They're so scared, they just run away. Like, if you keep running away and you don't actually face people that fight you, you just can't ever take space, and you can't hold space either. Like, basically just an auto loose. When we run at them there, like, they should be holding their ground, just like, walking forward, not walking backward kind of thing. It's like basically like OPR, like a lot of people try to bring OPR meta into war, where it's like, oh, you just run a bunch of range, right? But if you have enough damage mitigation and enough healing, then range doesn't really do anything. Which is like why my build's a thing, because this is like a pure damage mitigation utility build. Which is kind of boring to play, but very effective at what it does. That's cute, they're going for the side. Oh, they come out. Yeah, I had a bunch of people over there, I can't really come out that way. I mean, I don't really have an easy way out. Like, they're just running around and we're just shadowing them. That just slowed everybody over here. Put a lifesteal down for people. It's another huge slow on everybody over here. I've never seen anyone fighting in a waterfall in a war. Yeah, I haven't been over there in a while. It's kind of happened. The greatsword hatchets are feasting on everybody. I love the new console players. Have grit during that whole animation. They're like, oh, we could spawn at the other thing and run over. And it's like, yes, you can, but might not be safe. What are you doing, my guy? Swinging on a 350 con tank. Don't think that's gonna work too well. Oh, on time, I didn't go the right way. He hits me, he gets weakened. That guy got weakened. If you hit someone, then you apply a passive slow, so they can't run away either. Last war we got 500 assists. I feel like it's going to be about that this time too. How do the invasions usually go now? I remember them being basically impossible to actually defend. Have they been nerfed, or is the max level enough to beat them? They are embarrassingly easy now, because their entire invasion is scripted and people have mapped out every single spawn for every single mob that's like annoying on every single map, and AGS hasn't changed those spawns in like about a year and a half. So it's incredibly easy because there's just a script that people float around that you just like read off of, and people know where to spawn and like what to do. Invasions I think were hard when the game first came out, and then they kind of got easy, and then they got so easy that AGS like nerfed them again. Or like they made them shorter, like 5 minutes shorter. Nowadays people get paid to do invasions because they're kind of boring. Like people will pay like 5K per invasion on a legacy server. Should probably be like 1K on a fresh start. I didn't realize that if you do an OPR match, you get like 400 gold. Like it's actually better than doing like a mutation in terms of gold that you get. I was doing a few OPRs earlier on this character, and it's like, huh. It's like, that's pretty good. Hit him with the body block. GG's Banger Mercs board. Respect to that company for wanting to do the first war. Yeah, I feel bad. We'll probably give some points at some point here, but yeah, it's wars takes a while to get good. Like you have to be good enough to even like get to a point first and have an actual fight around the point, and like once you have a fight around the point, then there's like another dynamic. Like this would be like a like we're equivalent, I'd say, of a T2 company. This is like a T5 company probably, and like between each tier you're not competitive to the next tier. Like they have a lot to work on. Like you don't even see like healers like healing the right people and then the right people like holding space necessarily. I just see like basically OPR. Getting paid for that is crazy. I mean, it's because it's boring. Like it's just what it is. Like people like log on for invasions. It's like no one really wants to do them. Most of the invasions now you can just be AFK. Like some people AFK for like the first 15 minutes of the invasion and just show up for the last 10. Like I think if the invasion's difficulty was just like the last 10 minutes, more people would do it. But the problem is you have to sit through the first 15 minutes, and like the first 15 minutes is designed for someone that's like maybe 600 gear score. And like we're at 725 now is the max. Like it should be significantly harder, but it's just not. I think they're going out the back gate. And they're dying in our, like, that guy's not getting healed up and he's inside of his own war camp kind of thing. I mean, it looks like they might take C. Or just fight around to B for last. Should be a little bit entertaining. I didn't make it. Alright, giant slow on everybody. Does this count as disrupting? I think we're giving him C. I'm just gonna have fun on B. Remind me, got bored, saved C. Fortunate. You got a kill there? He came from behind me. Does the level 75 rapier work with the life staff? Oh yeah, level 75 rapier is really good with the life staff. That's probably the best rapier you could have with the life staff, to be honest. As I don't think they're coming out B. I don't think this is gonna be worth waiting for. someone else like that if they want to. Five silver buy order for amethyst is working. Vines nerf. Also, tumblers are featherweight for bow. Definitely featherweight. Featherweight's been meta this entire time for bow, and I don't think that's changing. Does it only work in open world, or does it work in all PvP? It does not work in OPR. It does not work in 3v3, but it works in every other mode. Because OPR and 3v3 have scaling. And if they're scaling, then can't really take advantage of it. Ow. I don't think I'm gonna make it far enough out for that keg to do anything. Might not make it far enough out for that keg to do anything either. Yeah, they didn't even make it 5 feet past the gate. I just got melted by a 725 musket with the new dot potency perk. Holy shit. Oh yeah, no, that's a really good perk. It actually multiplies like the damage of the dot by 15%, and most of the time it like adds to a modifier, so it's like something that a lot of people are considering building around, especially in smaller scale. Larger scale, it usually doesn't matter as much because you have ways to mitigate like that kind of burn, but smaller scale, it's probably pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, my keg got a kill. I don't know why it made the headshot sound, but... Worked again. The old stam out if they're gonna chase you and then just get the kill. I'm low, I swear. I can die. Ah. I think I have like 5 keg kills. No, like 1 or 2 normal ones too. They got that one. I don't have thrust gems at all, so that kind of hurts. Wait, they just didn't break the keg. They just hit me. Consoles players just not see kegs? Is this something I didn't know about? I thought they were trying to hit the keg across the map and break it. Turns out they were just shooting me the whole time. Huh. What's the vines nerf? You can't cleanse vines with purifying heart anymore. It's not gonna get a kill, it's too early. This might. This is a good bait keg. I didn't really place it well, but this one's probably a little better. Has to be close enough so that they back up into it, basically. Like, that guy's like running backwards now. He's not gonna quite make it to it though. This one's too far to the right. I wish I knew how much time was left in this war. I don't really know. I think it's 3 minutes. Like, we don't have a timer, but it should last half an hour from the hour mark. So it should be 3 minutes left. Surely we don't win a 2v5. That's a lot more than 2v5. Whee! There's a tower shield I'm debating trying to get, and it has refreshing ward on there. So it's like this shield, but with refreshing ward. But it's 625, but I don't think that affects stamina at all. It seems kind of nice. Only problem is it drops from any ad. So it's not super easy to get. He could jump on the keg now. Wait. 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 I got in. That's so funny. The new jump. Gonna get banned. Actually, though. I jumped on a keg. It's not my fault. We were experimenting with new technology. Do you jump out this way now? About here. No. Surely you can jump out from here, though. This box. Like, this looks like something you could jump out of. Oh. Well, then can you get out without dying? I mean, it's kind of chilling. 7 kills. Oh no. See, it wasn't a high assist war because they weren't like as active as the last company. Kept dying though. Alright, I think I wanted to re-record a bug video that I was trying to do and then kind of failed at because my audio or my video like froze up for some reason. But I'm open to answering any questions for the next like couple minutes too. What would you say are the best rune to use solo PvP wise? I'd just get Stone Form and get the one that heals you. Like that's probably the best one. And then Vines is usually second best. But with the nerf to Vines, I'm not sure if it's second best anymore. So let me redo this video real quick. I just need to find a mob that I can use. think there's a couple up here. Perfect. So, hey guys, this is Mikra. Wanted to make a quick video on some new bugs that were found that haven't been patched yet, just as a reminder for the Halloween patch. The first one we've already kind of talked about before. So the PvP crit damage taken modifier that you see for the equip load is still bugged. Every time that you die or respawn, you need to unequip and re-equip your gear, otherwise that bonus that will reduce crit damage will just not apply. There are a few others that are also bugged as well right now. One of them pertains to the new heart rune, or not the new heart rune, sorry, the new jewelry piece from the elemental band. Basically what this is supposed to do is it's supposed to give you a 4% in power for 6 seconds for each unique, basically elemental effect that you apply to an enemy. It says it's not supposed to work off of damage over times or attunements, but it 100% works off of those right now, so that's basically the bug with that one. You can see from my spear here, it has attunement, has nothing else on there. If I do an auto attack, I gain 6% in power, so we know that's bugged. There is another thing that is kind of weird right now, too, where lower gear score items are still beneficial in terms of PvP. So if I use like the 75 gear score Ice Gauntlet as a offhand, for example, my main hand will do like around 7.5% more damage, and I'll take 7.5% less damage. This is like in place to compensate for early level balancing, but I'd argue that the gear score related balancing should just be like moved more towards early level balancing, because this is still something that's beneficial at the end game and doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then like lastly, in terms of big bugs, deckhands promotions and earring that you get from the main story quest. This has been out for like, I think around 6 months now, but it has Retaliate on there, which gives you a stack of 8% damage for 5 seconds after blocking or taking a hit. So, and this applies to either weapon. And basically, this is the weapon gem effect that we have in armor. So that's just like not fair for obvious reasons. Free 24% in power is kind of insane. Elemental band is like roughly 28% in power, and it gives you 6 seconds per effect. So if you have like 4 effects trigger, that'll be 24 seconds of that much in power, so that one's like kind of nuts as well, and it seems like it's going around as like kind of a meta build that people, or meta artifact that people are trying to take advantage of in like any build they possibly can. So those are a little silly. One last one that I don't think is a bug, but kind of noteworthy too, is if you have vines and you have a purifying heart, that no longer will cleanse the vine. So anytime you are running vines, it probably makes sense to cut that purifying heart, use a different perk on there. Or just go over to Stoneform, because Stoneform works still with Purifying Heart, or they just made it work with Purifying Heart. I'd say Stoneform is probably going to be coming back as like a very meta thing for a lot of different builds, and we're going to see things kind of fall off in terms of like Vines a little bit. But Vines is still really good, like in a war setting, you can still cleanse before you use it. It's just, it has the ability to kill you now basically while you use it, so you have to be kind of careful when you're actually going for it. I think those are all the big bugs that are related to like gear pieces. There are some other ones, like anytime you queue for an event right now. This is one that AGS knows of, the other AGS knows of too, but aren't like seeming to patch very well. Anytime you enter a queue for any sort of event, you have a pretty significant chance of just crashing right now for some reason. And that's not very fun. It applies, I've seen it apply to myself in the raid, I've seen it apply in OPR, I've seen it apply to mutations, so it's just not a great experience with this recent Halloween patch. And then I guess lastly, this is one that's like very known and people have made all sorts of videos on it. But if you look at the new like gear from the, or actually I think I have some in my inventory. If you get the new Halloween gear from the Night Veil, basically all this gear requires you to have 205 armoring to use it at all. So it's just like not useful at all for new fresh start players. And it feels like AGS shouldn't have been as strict about the 700 gear score, like trying to make that like more difficult to obtain. I know what they're trying to do, because in terms of their activities right now, soul trials and regular expeditions can get you up to 650, OPR 3v3, seasonal trials and mutated expeditions can get you up to 700, and then the raids in the PvP zone can get you up to 725. So they're trying to encourage you to do like some of these other modes, and they're trying to say that, hey, you need to have some sort of like level to take advantage of these events now. But the problem is that it basically means the event is useless except for cosmetics for a lot of players, and I just don't think it's like as rewarding. The event does drop 650 gear score items, so if you are like a brand new player, it's not bad to do to get up to 650. But if you want to get up to that next level of 700, you are going to have 205 armoring, and that is not really obtainable for a new player. I know some people that have really high armoring already, like I have really high jewel crafting, but it is not cheap to get that high of a level, especially early on with the fresh start, because all the materials are just super expensive. So I think that's it in terms of like the kind of bug roundup for now, but I just wanted to like kind of give you guys like a status on some of the bugs. There are some other exploits too that I don't really want to share publicly yet, unless AGS doesn't fix them like in the next couple of weeks, because other PvP players are starting to pick up on them. They're starting to use them, and they, if used by a widespread the widespread community, would basically make PvP unplayable until they were patched. And I'm trying to get them fixed before they get more widely spread, but I could already see that they're starting to be used a little bit more, and they're starting to float around certain Discords. So I feel like AGS's time to fix some of the bugs I've reported to them is like kind of coming up, and it's getting a little sketchy. I was hoping that they'd fix them so I didn't have to like do the whole thing that happened with the gear score last time, where we kind of had to go nuclear in order for them to fix it. But this is starting to look like it's getting to the point where it's like, if they don't fix it, then it's just not going to be a fun experience for anyone. And I'd rather everyone know bugs than certain people just abuse the bugs and other players just don't know why they're dying. The biggest one right now, by far, is like the PvP crit damage taken bug. Like that affects literally everybody, whether you want it to or not. And it's really annoying because you have to take off your gear in order to fix it, right? So I just have an empty gear set to get around that. But it's like very easy to forget to do this, and it's just like kind of a pain to work around, versus some of the other ones are a little bit more minor in nature. You like really have to build to take advantage of the bugs. So yeah, let me know what you think there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, that's probably good enough, and I can clip that and then turn that into a video for tomorrow. Speaker, the elite chests don't drop gems, not in the patch, so I'm assuming it's a bug. Yeah, I don't know if that was intended or in a patch. I saw they updated Lazarus too. Like Lazarus is slightly different now. Like the last boss is like a teeny bit harder, but it's not much harder. Also, I can make dust, I think. Lazarus was in the patch notes. I see. I just did not read much of the patch notes because they were either. Most of them just didn't contain like much information. That one I missed though. What jewelry artifact would you use for Firestaff Great Axe? Elemental Band. I can't get Elemental Band because I don't want to have a group to raid, and plugging's not very fun. Elemental Band is the one that you'll want. There is no artifact that I would use for jewelry right now.
You know what friendship is? Go get one. You'll see it one day. GG's,
I know
peasant.
what friendship is, bro. Shut the fuck up.
What is going on in my area chat right now?
He sounds really sad. He probably doesn't have any
Bro,
friends.
another person, dude. Is this some fucking pandemic shit?
Oh my god, 2 people are talking to me and giving me attention. It's been 5 years since that happened.
Bro,
I've never
these
talked to
mics out
2 people
here
at
are
once.
fucking-
I'm gonna report the Vines thing as a bug, not in the patch, so it's a GG. How do you mute area chat? I forget how you mute. Do I do D&D? Nope.
No, bro.
It's a social setting, I thought.
I already told you it's not fucking blowjobs or ass fucks or whatever.
Stop talking shit, bro. You're dog shit at it.
I don't need knee pads anyway.
At the top, very tippy top. Is it this thing?
That looks like shops at Spencer's.
I'm getting
Motherfucker spit his last check on a hot topic.
by 2 people with mics that fucking are the quality of a fucking.
No. Oh, of social settings? Oh, okay. Oh, voice chat mode group. Yep. And I still have people talking.
You need to smoke weed on smoking it right
Gay, I
now.
called
These guys are
trans.
still fucking idiots. Holy shit.
Oh, there we go. A little quieter. Turn your speaker volume to 0. I mean, I kind of figured it out. It kind of works. Oh yeah, I wanted to make some dust. I bought a bunch of like T5 gems for like 0 gold for some reason. Windsward, it should be in Eden. Oh, nope, it's here. Okay. Yeah, I bought like 45 pristine amethysts. Like some dust. Thanks, Furry. Do you still think SNS and BB are usable in PvP, or should I try to pair SNS with something else? It's definitely a usable combo. I think Blunderbuss is super, super strong with Void Gauntlet right now in particular, because it just does like way more damage with that pairing. SNS is viable with like basically every single weapon in the game right now. The one that people are starting to warm up to a little bit more is Hatchet, but it feels a little bit weird with SNS, because then you have to like run light with a light shield or something like that, because Hatchet prefers usually to be light. A Hatchet seems like it's the weapon that a lot of people are eyeing right now because it has really, really absurd tracking to the point where you don't actually have to dodge to keep up with people that are dodging to create distance from you. You could just keep auto-attacking and they'll just hit them. So you just, like, always could out-stam trade people, basically, and people have to, like, turn and fight you with Hatchet, which is absurd. But SNS, like, you can't go wrong with, like, I'd say Hatchet, Spear, Greatsword, Great Axe, or even Blunderbuss. Like, all of those are like very good options. Flail's okay in some niche spots too. Yeah, I'm done with the cheaters at NA East. Are you talking about the aimbotters? Aim lockers? Whatever you want to call them? So it's getting a little crazy. I'm using VG and Fire Staff. I don't want to use Void Blade. Any suggestions? Fire Staff is mobile but doesn't have a lot of defensives. VG isn't mobile and doesn't have a lot of defensives, so that's like a glass cannon kind of build for the most part. Unless you like go for heavy flamethrower stuff, but even then, like, it makes more sense to go glass cannon than that. If you're gonna force that build, I'd probably get the artifact for the Fire Staff, or no, artifact for the Void Gauntlet, and use it more as an offhand and just Fire Staff main hand it and like kind of run it down. It got me a few levels. Amethysts aren't particularly useful right now, so. See, how are my buy orders doing too? I think they have enough of the... They're doing Spriggan Arena. Oh, to level up. I see. Steel ingots doing. So, we kind of fucked the market. That's kind of what's been going on in the Fred recently. Everyone's just fucking the market. I think we bought out like all the steel ingots and then made a bunch of money. I crafted a bunch of these too, but let's see. Yeah, so it's a little bit less prone to being bought out now. If there's like low supply and high demand, you could totally take advantage of markets right now. It's so bad. Sir, how are you so poor? Well, I just bought out that market. I don't know what to tell you. I got 9.5k though, that's something. I think on my main character I only have 40k. And I was thinking about like upgrading my heart rune, but that cost a bunch too. I also have these though, and these will be worth a lot in a few days. I might do a few OPRs. OPR's been kind of fun. Otherwise, I want to, like, there's a few things I kind of want to do, but I feel like OPR is like the main thing I kind of want to do. Like, I want to do any ad to try to get a certain shield that I'm looking for. I kind of want to wait for a mutation for that as well. Except I don't think it actually would drop during a mutation. I think I have to do the normal one, unfortunately. But OPR is starting to pop quickly now. Like, I think my queues are only a few minutes long. But there is a shield that has refreshing ward on it, which is kind of good looking. Or at least for fresh. Like, when the wall drops, I feel like people are just going to go back to the wall, but this wall of stone shield has slash shield ward, refreshing ward, and accelerated resolve. Like, that's pretty good shield wise. And it drops from any ad. I think you could craft it too. Yeah, you can craft it for 300 materia. So that would be 10 any ads, I believe, to craft that. Yeah, because you have to be level 60 in order to get that, or you could salvage it from gear. It's like there's some gear that drops from there still that you could salvage it from. Yeah, I can. It's just raffle bones. Yeah, maybe not. Does that shield require you, for it to drop, do you have to be level 60? You do have to be level 60. I forgot about that. So I'd have to do 10 of those in order to get this shield, and that's kind of a pain. Ooh, but it's a good shield. I still prefer my Atlas SNS shield, sturdy fortified shield rush. Yeah, I mean anything with fortify is just so good right now with SNS because of the buff extender thing, like this passive. Like whenever you block or not that one, this one. Like being hit or blocking a hit will extend the duration of all buffs on self by 5%. Like that's insane. You could use that with like accelerated or defender's resolve and just go nuts, or fortified shield rush and just go nuts, or sturdy fortification and just go nuts. So there's like a lot of ways to take advantage of that and basically be borderline invincible in SNS. Yes, glass cannons, I like that style. Solve all my problems with damage. Yeah, I mean if you want to do fire staff with the blunderbuss, I mean the main thing, or was it was VG, right? Not blunderbuss. So it would just be like you do 500 ant, you do 100 con, and then you run it down, or 150 con, and you can go run it down. Is Bruiser meta heavy now or medium? Grip feels bad in medium. I think you go medium, but I don't think you go high con. I think Bruiser's likely going to be medium, like 200 con, like 450 strength kind of thing. Like, there's a chance it's go 350 strength still, and then just mainhand the Warhammer and have 350, or, sorry, 350 int and then have 300 strength. Like, that's an option too, but people could just go 200. I think that's, like, probably a little bit better. This is unrealistic topic, but is it just me or the first boss of Gorgons show how many players don't know how to do dodges? Yeah, it's literally just a dodge thing. I mean, you have to time it. Like, it took me a little bit, but you dodge when it's at the apex of its jump, and then you're just fine. I'm a little surprised people can't pug Gorgons yet, though. It's a pretty easy raid. So, every time I get hit here, right, it's going to extend the duration of my defender's resolve. Well, it didn't really feel like it did that. Oh great, I got the permadeath thing. I feel like it didn't extend the duration of defender's resolve there, I'm not gonna lie. It should extend it. Also doesn't help that I don't have gems in yet. Should be an ability. Yeah, I'm not really sure why that didn't get extended. There's a chance it just got stripped by something, but I don't think anyone's really running Void Gauntlet in OPR. Bit late. What's the Vines nerfs? They made it so that Purifying Heart doesn't affect Vines anymore. Which means you have to deal with the 50% exhaust. Normally it takes you 4 seconds to go from 0 to 110. It takes you like 8 seconds now. There was an Oblivion? Okay. Good, because I was kind of going insane there. I was like, wait a second, does that not work the way I think it works? Hatchet's so good right now for that. Like, you could always hit the social distance throw because of the target lock. From what I see, pugs can usually get to the first boss with 30%, but it always ends up being 4 people tank left alive or 6 other people permadead. Yeah. I mean, the first boss isn't that bad as the second boss is as tricky. The first boss, like the only part that can like really mess you up is like the weakens if you don't like kill the crystals in time. Like it can nuke you. Oh yeah, there is a Void Gauntlet that has the Oblivion perk. Dang Void Gauntlets, ruining all the fun. So like that right there is gonna put an exhaust on whoever used it. Unless they cleanse afterwards, which most people aren't gonna do. I want to get my like flail VG set up like online, but that also requires like a few more pieces. Like I think I have to be able to do the sandworm raid in order to get that online. See if this gets extended or not. Yeah, it did get extended. Okay, cool. Who's backcapping us? That's so rude. Wait, these flail warhammer? Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if it really works, but it's cool. Probably works like well enough. Like I don't think I can kill it. It actually does okay damage too. It's a fun build. I'm just giving him power right now. I'm not doing anything else. Is that guy still stunned? Oh no, he's AFK. My SNS setup is set up for damage mitigation. My flail is set up for like buffing people around me, basically. What's the Vines nerf? Every time you use Vines, Purifying Heart will not clear the exhaust debuff anymore. Which makes Vines a lot less attractive. Get down, Mr. President. Dude's been aiming the scorpion sting. Oh, now I know why he's been aiming the scorpion sting. one way to play healer. All good, I reported it as a bug. It will be sent to the team, and then I'll be like, nope, it's intended. I mean, they never fixed that stoneform bug until recently, and I don't even know if that made it into the patch notes. I feel like it did, but it's like that was a silly one too. Let's do some damage. AoE damage buff, go. I want to play Flail VG. I feel like that class is going to be really, really fun. Or like Abyss Fire stuff I can level up too. Got my heart rune's just a white thing now. It's a nice bug as well. Oh yes, I'm gonna press my white hexagon here. Oh shit. It's probably the keg dude. Don't really want to be next to that. I don't think you want to be here, my guy. You got Baron in 20 seconds. I don't think he realizes that makes him slower if he does it that way. Wait, he died to it? They're dying to it. Wait, what? How the fuck? Dude, it's so easy though. They came to Baron and they died at Baron. It's so funny. I mean, it does okay damage, I guess. If I don't have a healer, yeah, it's like, it's kind of painful to fight it. That's wild, though. In terms of combo with SNS and BB, would he take Plague Splitting Grenades for damage or Blast Shot for more CC? Probably Plague Splitting Grenade in most circumstances, but Blast Shot's like good if you need like more of a defensive thing. Plague Splitting Grenade's damage upside is like very, very big though. Like it is like over half the damage you'll do with your BB combo if you could set it up right. Like if you do Plague Splitting Grenade and a leaping with SNS and it blows up and then you do a stun and a BB combo, like it can be a lot of damage. But it's like, it's very conditional, and if someone presses dodge within like the 10 seconds, like your combo won't do anything, so you have to be a little careful with it. What would be your go-to medium armor artifact? I don't know if I go Void Chest or Tumbler Boots. Tumbler is like usually the go-to medium armor artifact. In light, it's Featherweight. In medium, it's Tumbler. In heavy, it's Void Dark Plate. And there's some other like things that are niche for certain builds, but 90% of the time that's what people run. I got stripped. I gave that guy a haste. He should be able to leave now. They're doing a good job of stacking disease on me. It's making this a lot harder. I don't have invigorated. This can root people. You have to hit all 4 hits though, so it's like not typically used as a root. Start doing a little distraction action. Guy bind me. Put down life steal. Likely dead. Yeah. There's no heal on the ground there at a certain point, and I can't really live without that. I can if I have like a few pieces. But I don't have those pieces yet. Like if there's no, if I have accelerated resolve and then I have healing stone form and then butcher goes like really crazy because I have rune glass in it as well. Because right now I don't have any rune glass in butcher, then like I can go infinite with this build, but don't have that right now. Beaker, I have crippling and Warhammer slow alt and sometimes a monster. Ew. Not the slow utility build. Dude, everyone's using great sword right now, and it makes tanking like more annoying. Because they actually do stam damage, and it hurts too because I don't have gems. This ability is not strippable. Don't even have to stagger him, he's already dead. My guy just crashed. Did hit that guy. I'll give people a haste and an immunity when this drops. The key here is to get through the door and then pull aggro at the edge of the door. And then sit here so that if we have damage reduction coming through the door and then they can spread out. It's like you gotta give them a little bit of space in order to get through. some more weaken utility. Drop the immunity. We have to worry about the keg slightly, but should be about it. Are you proud of me for running forward conditioning like a good bruiser? Do you have Bisque gear on fresh already, Crush? Like, it sounds like you have Bisque gear already. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, I hit him with the slow. But it feels like the slow just didn't go through for some reason. Greatsword hatchet moment. You got like 20 ways to cleanse slows. That guy just got shredded. I'm gonna chill on the cheese tank spot for a second. And give the buff through the wall. This guy's like trying to kill himself. Somebody have Azoth Essence? Nice. Get some kegs now. Well, a keg. And I can get damage reduction food. Damage reduction food, keg. Both pretty nice pickups. The other fun tank for OPR is I can start putting on Scorpion Sting as offhand and then got a really silly tank build. Okay, why though? Man just like ran up to me, hit me with a sweep, and then like hit me once and then stammed himself out like in front of 10 people. I'm so confused. That's a pretty big slow. Uh-oh, that keg's gonna get some kills. I think this works. Does not work. Not worth testing. I thought you could block kegs, or I thought you used to be able to block kegs. It would break your entire stam bar. Did they change that? They buff kegs? No, like I swear that's a thing. Nah, boss, can't block them. You used to be able to. Because I know that I had a 5 keg kill lined up at one point and it got blocked and it didn't do anything. Why is my guy doing so much damage to me? Probably because I don't have any resistance, but still. Like actually one of the biggest clips I've ever had on this channel was me getting a 5-man keg kill, but then there's one guy that lived because he blocked the keg. So I guess they must have changed that for Eternum. It's just like, it's such a weird thing to like change though. Oh, I'm using the wrong shield. Oops. Ow. So he's gonna pull aggro the Baron, because he's the first one to come in. Yeah, he's fucked. It's such a dorky fight. You have grit during half heavies still. Yeah, he knows attack. You use that to get your stand back. My guy got destroyed. No, I believe in PvE, even if you take no, it's not a thing. That was you get to keep the heal. I don't think I could tank here, but like it is. She's doing damage. Oh, that bug stole thing. This stupid fight. I'm the keg guy, trust me. You can't block him. I swear to God, people have blocked my kegs before and they've gotten, but it's not done anything. I could just list the perma block thing. But if that doesn't work anymore, I won't, I guess I don't block them now. But I swear that was the thing at one point. It's weird that you can't upgrade that gear now. Like, I would think you'd be able to upgrade it. I know logic and AGS aren't really things that mix together. Check out this one from yesterday. Alright. Oh, it's a life staff build. Oh wait, that's you. That's crazy. Oh my god. They actually just don't do anything. Oh my god. There's no counter to it in OPR. It's the funny part. In War, you could like 3-tap them. In OPR, it's like, you got a lot of health. You gotta like kind of commit to kill the thing. If you're committing to kill the thing, like you can die basically. Like you can iframe it, but sketchy. Do you think we'll see a fix for the heart rune perks anytime soon? Oh, for like the cleanse stuff with vines? Not for like the soonest we'd see a fix would be the end of the Halloween event. I don't think we'll see any fixes beforehand. It's kind of just how AGS rolls. They like tend to patch stuff around event time. What's my faction rep doing? I feel like I'm almost the next level.
I see the light is still with you.
I am not even close to the next level. It's like I think I'm close, but nope, not even close. People used to use like this stuff to get like pretty good gear too, but now you have to get so much rep and it's just 650 gear score. It's not even like 700. That's 675. Azoth inductors, but like you need the Gorgonite one now. Like the apron's like the best part about the Covenant stuff. Like it's not that insane when you get down here. Which when you like look at all the rep you need to like get this gear, it makes a little bit more sense why they would lock the event gear behind like some level of crafting, but like I feel like 205 is just too high. Doesn't that also mean that it's like impossible to use any of that crafted gear if you're like an old player as well? Because like you can only get to 200 crafting. Like if you didn't buy the expansion. I feel like the game is in a good spot now, but burned so many players already, not sure if they can get the numbers it deserves. I mean, I think it's in a good spot, but it just depends on like what you're looking for, right? Like if you're looking for the bugs in the game, you could find the bugs in the game every single patch that comes out. Like I can, if I'm looking for bugs, I could find like 30 bugs in probably 30 minutes. If I'm looking for the good parts in the game, I could find that too. It's just like, I think people don't really look past their biases for certain things too. Like there's a lot of good parts to the game, but I'd say like the mid to end game is like objectively kind of poor. Like I've already, like no one has done the first raid, for example. I've done that raid, and I still need to do the Sandworm raid, but like I feel like that was like the major source of content for this patch, like for the entire year, and it feels like after doing it like 2 to 3 times, I'm like already like, yeah, it's kind of fun, but it's not like super fun. It's more annoying at this point if we can't do it right. But it will just get easier with time. Is it really not pluggable to do the raid on legacy servers by now? Like, I feel like it should be pluggable to do the raid with legacy servers. Like, you do like 12% more damage at a minimum. I want to make a BBVG build. That sounds like so fun to play. Utterly stupid, but really fun. No heal. No heal, no gems, no life. I'm also not playing around the crit bug at all. I probably should be playing around the crit bug. Yeah, we should probably start doing that. Like, that's probably one reason why everything's hurting so much, too, now that I think about it. I'm like, huh. Like, I either have to block the attack and it does a bajillion damage to my shield, or I don't block the attack and I just, like, die instantly. Yeah, that's more like it. There we go. It's not hitting hard anymore. Yeah, 900 without even blocking. BB is so AIDS right now, I think I'm gonna make one. Yeah, it's just so good. We made it past Maze, but now it's time to do the cleansing with 0 comms. Wait, it's Typhoon first? Yeah, you do Typhoon first. Typhoon's a DPS check. Yeah, Typhoon's like... The problem with Typhoon is often that people don't pull the wolves to where the crows are. And if they don't do that, it's like basically impossible. Yo, Hess, thank you. I got some peeps over here. This guy does not have healing and he's just walking it down. Wait, that's not a thing. Please don't ever play that build that the guy's playing if you're a new player. Please don't. Sword and shield bow is not a thing. That is the I don't have hands build, but I want to pretend I have hands. I think after this we could do like one more theorycrafted build. And then I'm probably gonna call it ish. Maybe 2 more theorycrafts builds. Like, I need to start putting them on the website, but I don't know if I want to do that on stream because I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I feel like I'm gonna embarrass myself. Speed boost. It is nice to actually have like consistent healers in the OPRs. Like that was a big con to OPR before, and I feel like they fixed that problem. That was kind of a funny tech. Who wins, one guy holding shield or an army? Now the army. Took a while though. They actually got out of that. That's crazy that we got out of that, I'm not gonna lie. Probably should not have been able to. How did we get such high rank? High score, just blocking? Huh. Alright, PvP, blah blah blah. Words. Are your PvP builds going on newroadbuilds.com or somewhere else? They're gonna go on newroadbuilds.com. We're gonna be adding in a PvP tab. So the idea is Sherlock makes this PvE builds already. Like I'm sure some of you guys have seen his guides and stuff like that. Like he makes this PvE builds for all this stuff. And then there's gonna be a PvP section where I just put my builds in there. What's a build selector thing? No. I see. Kind of a for fun thing. Yeah, he's got this too. See, I disagree with this already. Because you shouldn't put two healers in the same group as the tank, especially if the tank is running like sword and shield or flail. It matters less for flail, it matters more for sword and shield, because the sword and shield SNS aura will be applied to people within the same group. So ideally, you actually want the healers outside of the tank group, but usually people put one healer in the tank group because it's easier to heal that way. But you should definitely not have both healers in the tank group. That doesn't really make sense. Especially when you do splits in certain parts of the raid, like it really does not make sense to put everyone in the same group. Micro's medium hatchet completely forbidden? I don't think so. I made a build guide for medium hatchet. My trusty bleed rapier, time to see if the tank has carnelians. I gotta see if they have despise too. Despise is a really nice thing to have. I thought they took despised out of the game, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, guess not. We actually have a real war tomorrow. I kind of want this leveled up for the war. Everything else is okay, though. It's okay, but not good. Medium gloves suck. Like, I really need something better than those. Like, I should just start wearing heavy and hope that, like, our RNG better drops. It's just, that's Dex, so it's like, I don't want to wear Dex gloves. Like, I'm not paying that much for gloves either. I want something dirt cheap. Like this. Yeah, no, I'd just buy these. Because I could just throw these on when, like, when I open up OPR crates or something like that, and I might get something good. Also, I think I had to do my daily CK stuff. Yeah, there's Koya. And look, like, just like that. Got a better heavy piece. Easy. You just gain the system. Keen Tondo is good, but I don't want to wear heavy in PvE. It's a shame I can't be a higher gear score. I do have this sword too, which is kind of nice. But I definitely need better gear. How did he game the system? I bought like a 75 gear score piece off the market, put it on, opened up an OPR crate, and then I got a Lego heavy glove, because I was wearing medium gloves this whole time. So I just RNG'd it. Do a little cheesing. I also have this amulet, but I feel like this isn't better than my current amulet. Like, lightning protection's really nice versus bows that run bolt caster, but that's kind of it. Oh, like, I have strike protection on here, which is kind of nuts. Alright. Let me... I think I want to do a build guide now. Do you guys have any build guides that you want to see that aren't on this list? Like, should I do Bruiser next? Or I could do... I feel like Bruiser's the one I kind of want to cook up next, but... I need to get to that at some point here. But I also need to do Greatsword Hatchet. Greatsword Hatchet I haven't done yet. W Micro, new patches just dropped. Pretty ZZZ. Is it just a fix to the crashing? This is the second time I said that mutator carry bonus caches would be fixed. Yeah, nothing there is like too crazy though. They didn't even say that they fixed the crashing bug. Alright. Let's do a Bruiser one. So Tumbler is definitely a lock-in. Other thing... is the Warhammer artifact ever worth using? Not the new one, but Spark. Like, I don't think so, still, because you want, like, better utility than this, but this does do a lot more damage than, like a normal Warhammer would, so... I'm actually going to set this up a little differently than normal to make the point even clearer, but I think Warhammer is the main hand now. Do you ever use the spinny great axe too? That would be the other option. I feel like you probably don't as a default. It's still Sundering Shockwave on Warhammer, I assume, right? That just makes sense. Like you do this, you do Trenchant Strike. What's your last option here? You ever do penetrating the empowered? Oh wait, yeah, you're right. It's Plague Strikes. I forgot about Plague Strikes. Because that's on proc. Great Axe is probably the same thing. Well, do you want Refreshing Move if you offhand Great Axe? That's a question. Like, I almost wonder if you want Refreshing Move. Because I feel like you don't really want to use it that much. I know Bruisers will typically want it, but I think we could just run Teardrop and that solves like half the problems that Bruiser has. Because Bruiser's like main thing is that they just don't get cooldowns up in time. What's your last perk? Is it attunement still? Or do... I mean, would it be attunement now if you can't really take advantage of the grit? Sorting counter might be the play with hammer main hand. I think that's probably better than attunement for like larger scale. You could spam out with you can use all your stamina and then go for desperate and power. Lol. There's actually just like not a great third perk option for Bruiser. Just the funny part. Because you want to be hitting large groups of people. But like I don't know if there's a like thwarting counter is like okay, but Shuriken feels good on Great Axe, but we'll never say Bisp, but it does feel very good. I mean, yeah, but it'll only apply to like one hit on the spin. Like, I'm just gonna say thwarting counter for now until I think of something smarter. This is still detonate. Crush, do you know if detonate's rend is cleansed by purifying heart or not? Like, I assume you still want purifying heart because you want that to cleanse the weakens on you. I don't think it ever has been. Yeah, like I see the buff on you all the time, so it's like, yeah, it probably just hasn't. Oops. We clicked the wrong thing. Health strike, and then the new perk should be the third one, I think. And this is hardy. Would it be strike or slash? I feel like it's strike now. But I could see an argument for slash for certain things. Empowering cleave, hitting two players with a single melee attack grants them power, increasing damage the next two hits within 5 seconds by 20%. 3-second activation cooldown. Sounds pretty mid. But still probably purifying heart just to cleanse everything. Like if you have weakens on you when you go for your ult. How come no empowering toast in your life taker BB build? Because I forgot it existed. Well, it's also like you already have enough empower, I think, but yeah, I honestly forgot that was a perk. Like we'd probably just add that in. Yeah, it's better than fortifying toast. Yeah, so like yeah, I just switched that. It'd just be that simple. You do have a lot of sources of empower built into this though, so I'd argue that you could go either way. Like it's actually like less of a must-have than you'd think because of elemental band and how strong that is right now, but we still probably take that. The goal of these is not necessarily to have the best in slot build like immediately, but to have like a working thing to like kind of build off of. Like if no one puts anything forward, then you can't really tell what's bis and what's not bis. Or at least that's my excuse. I need this thing, which I have on a different tab. Move you back. Bis IG on paper seems OP. Yeah, it's always seemed OP on paper, and no one's ever been able to play it effectively. Like, there's one guy that was able to play it on AP Southeast, and I was never able to convince an NA Bruiser to try it or get value out of it. But in theory, it does seem very good. So heavy legs... No, heavy hands, medium legs, medium chest. Medium legs. The other bad part about this, with medium in particular, is you can't hit like any of the BIS like illegal gear. BIS IG synergy is terrible in my experience, at least as a Bruiser substitute. Yeah, it's just like, it's clumsy. Like, IG doesn't have great ways to get rid of your mana, and Abyss needs you to get rid of your mana. And versus Firestaff just does that naturally. Okay. So I think this is good so far. Now we probably need... I'd argue Shirking Fort is like really, really good for Bruiser, and the other one is Elemental Aversion. Both of them are like really, really solid. I think... Which one's better overall? I mean, Elemental Aversion's better versus Deado meta, but you should just not be in range of Deados and be charging away from Deados anyway, so I think you should be... Shirking Fort should be better in general. You could go whatever defensive feels best for you, though. That's more of a preference slot. You definitely want, like, 3 slash conditioning with this build, probably 2 thrust conditioning. The goal with this is going to be to do relatively high amounts of damage. Oh, this is supposed to be Shirking Fort. And then thrust. Because we're going to drop our con. Last perk option is usually freedom. Maybe like 1 leeching path of destiny. That seems like a pretty standard Bruiser setup. And then this should be 2 physical, 5 elemental. I don't know, it's kind of a... Bruiser's kind of simple because all the defensives are kind of locked in. Like, I don't think there's much debate in terms of the gear that you need to run. Like, the only debatable thing is, like, do you go unimpeded or do you go, like, divine or do you go stam recovery? And I think unimpeded's slightly better. Yeah, so this is 3 freedom. You have your passive freedom for medium, so that gets you out of the threat range for the most part. If we put our rabbit on... Our what do you call it on Honing Stone. Desert. That would be our buffs. And then we'd be hitting, should be 200 and then X strength. Like, I don't think there's too much more to do there. Gotta up this to 725. A teardrop does bring our gear score down a bit, but it's perfectly fine. It's more than worth it. So you end up with 440 strength, 200 con. Like, that seems like kind of nice. Stamina's trash. It's between divine and impeded. Yeah, I think people would prefer impeded. I think if you're on point too, you might want higher con, and it might be like a whirlwind kind of build. Because whirlwind feels a little bit better, I think, than it used to. But I don't know the Bruiser tree off the top of my head. This is good, usually. Kind of an underrated perk. Maelstrom has grit in the startup. That's the only time it has grit, so I'm curious if you go for that or if you don't go for that. Like, all those other things are kind of locked in. I think gravity's better now. Heavy pull plus root passives felt pretty amazing, but need to test more. I mean, if you do heavy attack, then enduring strike does have some value. Like, I'll just sit for that for now. Like, I think the last slots are pretty flexible and doesn't really matter. Like, something like this is fine. If you wanted to go, like, crit for health or crit damage, like, that's fine. I'd probably think crit damage would be a little bit better. Warhammer, haven't done in a bit, but... This is while spreading, not just moving anymore, so it's actually less good than it used to be. At a minimum, its stats locked in. Wait, we don't get there? That's not good. Need to hit the exhaust, I would think. Your armor types are wrong, by the way. It's heavy chest, heavy legs. It is? Is it actually heavy legs? If you have light feet? I thought this color was heavy. Oh no, I do have the wrong color. Yeah, it's heavy chest, heavy legs, so that changes it a bit. That's annoying. So, heavy chest, heavy legs, light, medium. So I get to keep one thing the same. So that would be it, Crush. Yeah, no, it's just the colors are like kind of the same when you use dark mode for that thing, so it's like kind of hard to tell. How many slashes do we have? We want 2 thrust and 3 slash. That means this is thrust. I forgot Alacritus 2, so we gotta fit that in here somehow. But you have to cut a shirking fortification for it. Uh, huh. Is it ever worth running Thorny Reflection? Probably not worth forcing. But if you run it, you do get a little bit faster. And I think it is like a pretty significant damage bonus. You could probably cut 1 slash conditioning for Thorny Reflection. I think you kind of want 3 freedom. So the idea behind this is just it's passive damage that you're doing, and it's also giving you ult charge. It's like I don't know if it's necessarily better, but it's like it's pretty close to the point where I think it would be competitive. One, two. All the rest are opal. Then consume wise. So strike is even more important than it used to be because the detonate's doing strike damage now for some reason. You still probably want flame pots on this class, or fire pots, or whatever they're called. Health and serum. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good. I think you have an argument that you either go teardrop or you go the deep water. Or deep, whatever it's called, like the 500 gear score one. Like both those are very competitive with each other. Oh, it does it now? It did thrust before. Oh, it was stone form. It's not detonate. So detonate's still arcane. Gosh, we have 2 shirking fort. Like that's like almost like such little shirking fort that I'd rather just go like elemental aversion or something like that. And just take the damage reduction versus detonate and use this for the shirking. Like I feel like this would just be more consistent at that point. Like if we only run like 2, we might as well just go elemental. Because then we have like some consistent fire protection and like range protection and detonate protection, but then we also have the upside from Tumblr to get the fortify stuff. It's like we kind of have both at that point. Oh. I don't know if I did the trees perfectly, but I think those are fine. And then Warhammer, you pretty much always go Jasper on it. Great Axe, I'd argue you should also go Jasper too, but that's like a little bit more preference. The argument for going on Jasper now more than ever is that you shouldn't be on Great Axe for the most part. You should be on Warhammer for the most part. And then you want to make sure you like hit the empower cap when you're actually hitting, and your sources of empower in Great Axe aren't a ton. Like you have right tree passive. You have 10% power from center of attention. So this is like up to 40, and then this would be up to 50. But you're going to be weakened because you're just like in the center of a giant clump. So you want to get a little bit above that, and this will help you get above that. In my opinion, go for 4 LA, 1 thrust conditioning. Oh, instead of 2 thrust. Could you do that? See, the problem is Hasted Vigor is the same perk slot as an inversion. So I'd have to cut Hasted Vigor. So that doesn't quite work. I mean, I could cut, like, I could do this. And then, I could do that. Then to get your elemental aversion, you cut a conditioning. Because Thorny Reflection can go on chest or it can go on gloves. Is Warhammer a lot more damage than Great Axe now? Sorry, been a while. Yeah, it's a decent amount more damage. I also forgot you get a few bonus stats there as well. So that'd be 400, 200, or 440, 200. So this should hit pretty dang hard. It might feel a little squishy, but I think it's probably fine. Is it worth playing Greatsword on Fresh Start server considering the Serenity grind? Dude, it's so hard to get Serenity now. It's like, that's what I've been telling people, like, in my company. They're like, oh, I want to go Greatsword. It's like, I would not commit to Greatsword until you get Serenity, and Serenity is a shit show to get right now. Like, you have a chance, your first chance at Serenity is the third part of level 29 in the PvP track. And then after that, it's 39, 59, 69, 79, 89, and then it's, like, relatively consistent when you get to 100. But that's going to be like, we're talking like a month or two down the line where you'll start seeing people with Serenity. Like, it's actually like impossible to get. Do you have a New World Buddy Link for your Firestaff Rapier build? I don't think I put together a Firestaff Rapier one yet. Also, Crush, I think that means that if he said that that gear is wrong, then I messed up my Spear Hatchet gear, because I think I did the same setup. Oops. So this should be heavy. This should be medium, and this should be heavy. I mean, the good news is that we can get the sand lion thing. Which is just broken. So it actually makes this build a decent amount stronger. What were we going for here? Oh yeah, it was shirking. This was a shirking heal setup. I don't think I went shirking for it. I think I went for elemental aversion because of the tumblers and wanted something more consistent. So it was like, if you don't dodge it, you're not just like completely fucked. But if you do dodge, you get a lot of bonuses. That should be double slash, double thrust. I put Keen Berserk on the last piece. And I was debating going for not running Keen Berserk and going a different route, because it felt like you'd want to main hand the spear in this sort of setup, but I think this works fine. Yeah, a little bit less con with that one. This is more of an assassin thing. Some PvP player on my server AP has been running Serenity on Fresh. That's crazy if he has Serenity on Fresh. You should not be able to get Serenity on Fresh. You can, like, there was a bug early on where you could transfer a character, and I wouldn't be surprised if that, like, he was one of those guys. Is this game alive? Yeah, I'd say so right now. We can't actually see, like, the entire server pop anymore, but, like, we're still peaking at, like, 40,000 per day, and with just PC players. I think it's, like, 100k concurrent pop game. So probably, like, 200k people playing per day, 200 to 250. So yeah, it's definitely alive at the moment. Which is a bit of a shame, considering Greatsword is otherwise super fun, but anything not Serenity feels very mid. Yeah, Serenity is just like a different level, because you get all that heavy attack passive stuff that it gives. Like, you have 2 heavy attack bonus perks. I can give you Kyle, I can give you a link to Firestaff. What build did I do? Did I do a Firestaff build yet? I don't think I did a Firestaff build yet. I was gonna do an Abyss Firestaff one. I did BB Firestaff because someone asked me for it. But that's like a... I mean, it would basically be pretty similar to this BB Firestaff one, but I wouldn't go Tumbler though with it. I'd go Nimble Coat if I was just gonna main hand Firestaff. Did I not put gems in these? This doesn't look like there's gems in it. So this should be opal. Basically on every build I was doing, it was a 2 onyx, 5 or 6 opal split. It just works out to be like really effective. Yo, Mikro, do you have greatsword hatchet builds? That was one I wanted to do too. I think I need to do a fire staff one. I need to do a greatsword hatchet, and then I'm like in a pretty good spot. How many do I have right now? I have 7. So that put me up to 9, and then I think I have basically all the builds for every class. Abyss is another one I want to do, but that's a kind of a separate build. It's funny looking at the distribution of like earrings that I have on these builds. Like some of them, it's like, oh, go for like any random like earring is perfectly fine. Other ones are like you have to get like kind of specific with like a deckhand or something. Can I see bow hatchet? Yeah, I can share bow hatchet. Or just show it to you. This one I'm like relatively comfortable with at this point, but it's enchanted ward stacking. Featherweight because you're in light. Also, you can get this heavy foot piece because you're in light. You can get keen speed, which is a little crazy. You got hasted vigor on Gorgon. This I put flame conditioning. In hindsight, I think I'm gonna change this to thorny. Because thorny reflection doesn't require a melee hit, I believe. It's taking a critical hit will reflect nature damage back, and it's not necessarily a melee hit, so this is actually like kind of nuts. I had a flame conditioning instead. But I think it's fine to do it this way. Yeah, I still like at least one flame conditioning is not bad. The other weird part about this too is people might not go thrust protection anymore, but go for like lightning protection. Because a lot of bows use bolt caster, and they added lightning protection back into the pool. I think people use play crits with the bow, but I kind of forget how that goes. And this is a utility hatchet, not a damage hatchet. Fire Abyss does sound fun. It's a very fun and effective build. But yeah, I could share this build too. I mean, these are all going to go on that site. It's just I need to put them on the site, right? So it's going to take a bit. So I could try to do fire stuff rapier, and I could try to do greatsword hatchet. Do you guys want fire stuff rapier first or greatsword hatchet first? Anyone care? Nature's Wrath still worth for DPS? I don't think Nature's Wrath is worth it on any class. Inferno build? I mean, I did an Inferno BB, but I don't really have a pure Inferno build. Rapier BB, that's a cook. I already have BBVG. I don't think I need to do another BB build. Like, BBVG is like the BB build right now. Like, this thing is stupid strong. I wonder, has anyone tried doing 2 Thorny Reflection on gear yet? Yeah, okay, I could do a greatsword hatchet build. Greatsword hatchet I would build as a squishy as fuck build. That looks to just nuke people and then leave. Like it's gonna be squishy. But it's gonna work. I already faced the difficult decision. Do we go for... We probably go for, what do you call it? The Endless Thirst on this one. I don't think it's an Onk build. Now what armor artifact do you go for? If it's light, you usually go featherweight, but I feel like for this one you don't necessarily go featherweight. Like, I feel like there's better options. Attuned leather pants sounds pretty strong. Wing leather shoes sounds pretty strong. Tumbler sounds okay, but I don't think Tumbler quite fits the vibe of the build. But we do need some source of empower for the build. So Tumbler does make some sense. That's just a DPS boost. . When you hit an empowered foe, dispel 2 of the empowers and give yourself 10 seconds of 10% empower and a 4-second cooldown. Ghostly Touch is actually pretty good for this kind of build, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's actually competitive with this kind of build. Oh, it's Phoenix. Wait, what am I saying? You don't go Endless Thirst with this one, you go Phoenix. Oops. Hey, go back. No. New word, buddy. Go back. No, not that far back. Isn't Thorny Reflection 101? It says 101 stack. Okay. You could also have a Shirking Heal set for builds that would use it. Yeah, that's true. And then just like copy paste it over. I don't have SNS Flail on the site yet. SNS Flail is like, I haven't made any pure tank builds on this site either, which is kind of funny because I main pure tank builds, but it's like not a common class, so I didn't prioritize it immediately. So I think it's Phoenix for sure. The artifact for damage on this is kind of interesting. I honestly feel like a Toon Leather Pants makes sense, which is weird. But I think it lets you hit some weird stat thresholds. Wait, do you have a website with all your builds? I'm working on it. It's not my site, but I work with what's his name? With Sherlock, and he does PvE builds, and then I put PvP builds on his PvE site, and then we have like one site that has like all kinds of builds on it basically. So that's what we try to do. We just haven't done it in a while. Like, last time we updated this was like a year ago, and it should be updated by the end of this weekend. This is New World builds. I think I still have a thing for it. Like, I haven't updated that. Like, we took off my DPS or like my PvP builds because I stopped updating them at a certain point because I was like, okay, AGS has to fix some of these bugs before I update it because otherwise I have to take into account the bugs, and it's just not fun because we're looking at like gear score exploiting, and it was just like, it was so stupid. I think I am gonna go for Tumbler even in light for this kind of build. I think it helps the damage a little bit too much, but it feels a little bit weird to go Tumbler and light. I think the other one that's like very, very close with Tumbler in terms of power level would be for this kind of build to be Ghostly Touch. Like, that's also pretty good. How do I get a link to your builds? I don't have... I can give you a link to the Inferno BB. It's just, these are going to be on the site in a bit. It's just they're not on the site now. Inferno BB. So it's like, I've been like working on making the builds, and then we're going to put them in a repository, basically. I could also put them in the Discord, but I think it will just be easier to put everything on the website at a certain point. So the PvE builds on there right now are current legit. Hard to tell. Hard to find a good site since I came back to the game. They're relatively legit. Sherlock is also updating that, and he said that those are going to be done by this weekend along with the PvP builds. So it's like everything should be done by this weekend. We're both like going through and updating everything. But the old PvE builds have not changed very much. So it's like his stuff is like basically up to date. You know, I'm thinking about this more, and I don't think it's Tumbler Feet Wraps, and I hate saying it, but I think Keen Speed is too important on your boots. I think you have to go Featherweight. And I don't like that, but if you go Featherweight, then you can pick up the Sand Lion, which is just like crazy strong. Because you go heavy, medium, heavy. Or no, heavy, light, heavy, light. So this would be light. This would be heavy. Like, it's just too important. It's like, it's really stupid how broken those two things are. And we're probably gonna have to change it at some point, but like they're just so strong. So yeah, this is 29.9, perfect. So that's exactly what we wanted. So the PvE builds on there, yeah, okay, yeah, I already looked at that. Cool. So this is not super accessible to a lot of players, but the Sand Lion Tarsus is a thing that you can get from the raid, like the Sandworm raid, which is like harder to beat than the normal raid. But it has keen speed on there, so it's just infinite mobility for this class, and it just makes the class so strong. You actually want DPS stuff on Hatchet. That looks so gross. Oh, that looks so gross. You can get Keen Berserk, Pen Backstab, and Penetrating the Empowered. Oh. Oh boy, that would hurt. That would hurt a lot. Why does SNS Spear have Wizard's Hat? On one of my builds? I do not have SNS Spear with Wizard Hat. That's not a Wizard Hat. That's a Gorgon's Tusk. What do you mean? Oh wait, SNS Spear. That's still not a Wizard's Hat. That's Gorgon's Antlers. I'm so confused. Is this on the other site? Is there a build here that has... Why the fuck did he put Oh, I know why he put Wizard's Hat. There is a weird tech with Wizard's Hat where it gives you more stats. Yeah, it gives you more stats, right? So this gives you 50 int. So he probably just wants to hit the 50 int threshold. But he wants to make sure that he gets over 250 dex as well. So it's literally just because he wants to hit the 250 int threshold, if that makes sense. It's a really niche PvE oriented tech. But also I could tell this is out of date because you can get up to 650 stats now, right? And this is 350 plus 250 would be 600. No, that is 650. No, that is up to date. Never mind, he did a good job. But he also has a different option down here where if you go for featherweight, this is more DPS though. So it's deckhand. This is a build where you definitely want health on everything. Like it's going to be super squishy, and health is really nice when you're super squishy. Another thing that's really nice when you're super squishy is elemental aversion, or you do enchanted. I think you do enchanted actually, because enchanted lets you like face tank and melee a bit better. And the way that this works is like you want to be taking 1v1s, but you don't want to be taking more than 1v1s. Elemental aversion I think is another really good option. Yeah, I've got a build with SNS. I'm working on a greatsword hatchet build right now too. I don't have an SNS greatsword build yet. This would be slash protection or slash conditioning. Conditioning feels a little sus on this kind of build though, I'm not gonna lie. But I think it makes sense. And then we want elemental aversion if we go this route, actually. Because then we need help versus fire staff a little bit more. And bow, which elemental aversion will help versus both fire staff and bow with currently how they do their builds. Because then we can go thrust protection on here. But then we don't have health. But I think that's... Dude, that feels shitty to not have health. Ugh. I don't want to do that. I think you need health in this kind of build. The other artifact makes a lot of sense, but like you need the thrust protection too. And like this health is like 7% health, like it's such a big deal. And then I guess we can compensate by going like shirking in power. Because we just dropped our empower. This would be regenning. Or fortify toaster would be... No, we already have that. So that works. This would be stone form. Because you need a way to live. Some people would go vines, but that's like... So greedy to go vines with this kind of build. Especially because Purifying Heart doesn't cleanse the vines anymore. Like, that just sounds like a death sentence. And then slash damage. Okay, this is the funny part. Honing stone. Desert. So this is where it gets a little silly. It's like you get up to 100 maybe. Yeah, like it's this. Like it seems a little funny. But I think that's what you go. Like it's low con, you hit 200 strength, you get to a relatively high amount of dex. Like probably too much dex, honestly. I mean, I could flip it around, but I feel like this isn't that good. That is a good perk, but like you want 300 dex, and you wouldn't hit 300 dex. So I think this makes a little bit more sense. Should I start off tanking or stay with DPS while I learn the game? If you start off with DPS, I would go like medium, like armor DPS, like Abyss Fire Staff's like a relatively good thing. Like when you're level 65, like in that mid game area, it's like a good build to go for like early on for people. But tanking is like very easy to get into stuff, and the other nice part about tanking is if you tank for any expedition, they give you like gold. So that's kind of chill. I've got a weird tech. I think you go Opportunist, and I don't think you go Rune Glass and Hatchet. Hear me out. Because if you go Rune Glass and Hatchet, you're going to put a dot on the opponent. If you put a dot on the opponent, it's going to proc the haste perk. I also got to put the haste perk on. So I forgot about that perk. And I also think that Thorny Reflection will probably help you trade a little bit better. And probably a little bit more valuable than health. So this is like 14k HP. It's not much HP. That's too much cook in PvP. They'll have it on anyway most of the time, Micro, in my opinion. I mean, it's like you would still go opportunist, though, is the thing. Like, it's either this or you go for the rune glass. Alacritus Punishment gonna go hard with all the Hastes patch? It is, but I don't know. It's like actually weirdly hard to run Alacritus Punishment. Like, it used to be really, really easy to do, but if I look at like Gorgon's fire staff, like say you could pick your own fire staff, like every single thing that you want, right? Like if I go, actually you can't even type out Alacritus Punishment. I think Alacritus Punishment is like damage con. Yeah, it's damage con. So I'll just lock in a damage con perk. So we can't go any damage con perk, right? I guess you'd probably go keenly empowered. And then it's like, what's your last perk option? I guess attunement. Like it's attunement or it's a weapon perk. Like it doesn't feel that insane. Like the reason why it was so good before is the PvP fire staff, which you can get to max level, had vicious and it had that perk on it. You replied, I missed it, was moving PCs. Oh, Crush, all I was saying is just that, like, I don't, like, I don't think it really matters for Hatchet. Like, you'd want to go either that or you'd want to go the Artifact, or you want to go, like, the Rune Glass variant anyways. But I think the Rune Glass variant has, like, less burst damage than, like, a typical Hatchet. The other one I've seen with Great Axe a decent bit, which is really funny. Is some people go Onyx with Great Axe, and you just, like, you could 2-tap people with this. It's so silly. It's something like that. I could treat something like that. Maybe not perfect there. Did I miss the patch notes? Don't see any vines. I mean, they didn't say anything about like the vines change. We just noticed that today. Yeah, I got sent a message like, "Hey, did they change vines?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" And then they sent a video, and I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, they changed vines." It's like, that's cool. The other thing I've seen from this too a lot, from Twofer specifically, is just go straight Onyx with everything with this kind of build, because they're so squishy, you can only afford to win certain matchups. Twofer played this like very differently than like most people though. Like he went straight Onyx and then he went fire absorption pots. He's like, if I'm versus a bow, I'm fucked, and I'm just not going to take that matchup anyway because I could choose who I'm matching up against, and I can kill fire staffs in time is the idea. So this is just like really high resistance to like certain matchups, so you can take advantage of those, and then like if you're versus a fire staff, like if you don't have your fire pod up, like you don't take the duel. If you have the fire pod up, then you can take the duel. So it's like, it's a this is a glass cannon. Like this is the glass cannon build. Mystery answer 2, 4-year-old going to bed, had to hung daddy. Oh, going back up. Should I start off tanking or stay with DPS while I relearn the game? I mean, I think it depends if you want to be like more PvE or PvP focused early on. Like a lot of the grind is oriented towards PvE, and if you do tank, you'll get into content faster, and you'll get like gold as a bonus reward. So I'd say like tanking is a good thing to start off with. But there's also like decent DPS builds. I just wouldn't go like a 5 con DPS build if you're just getting back into the game. Like I'd do like maybe medium or do like 100 to 150 con and light. Like both of those would work. Onyx into Great Sword with Giant Circular is big burst. Oh yeah, you do Onyx with Giant Slayer, you hit someone once, you go into, with a heavy attack, you go into Steadfast and they just die. Like it is ridiculous. It is good night. Also, I don't think you need that. I think it's better to go aggressive shift, because if you hit someone from behind, you get keen posture. The idea with this is you get close enough to someone, you just hit them with aggressive shift, you go into Steadfast and they just die. It's like, it's that simple. If they don't die after that combo, you go to the Hatchet, chase them down with social distancing, which will root them, and then just go in with Raging Torrent. They're going to be running away from you because they're scared, and then Penetrating Backstab and Penetrating Empowered will proc. You also have Keen Berserk if you want it, and that's just, like, stupid. PvE to learn to tank, to learn the game. I tanked Regs before Brim came out. PvP will come later. Yeah, I do PvE to relearn the game for sure, and then, like, go into PvP later on. When we're talking about Greatsword 2, and we're like talking about like how it's so painful that it's like if you don't have Serenity, it's so much worse. It's because your heavy melee attacks deal increased damage, and they do increased crit damage with Serenity, which just basically just obliterates anyone, and you normally can't get these two perks together. So it's like Serenity is kind of a must-have, but the problem with Serenity is it's like next to impossible to get for new players. It's like actually like one of the hardest artifacts to get in the entire game, because your first chance of getting it is at PvP track level 19, and then 39, then 59, then 69. And it's like roughly a 6% chance per one of these tracks, only on the third level. So it would take you like a minimum of like probably 150 hours of PvP content to get, and probably a maximum of like 500 hours to 1,000. Like it takes a very long time to get Serenity. It's probably the hardest artifact to get in the game, next to Ankh. What did they do with vines? Yeah, if you use Purifying Heart, it doesn't work with vines anymore. So I think I actually messed it up on some of my builds here. So like, SNS Spear, for example, I have vines on it, right? Actually, you probably still want vines on this build because you want to use it as like a utility piece, but like some of these builds, like it doesn't make sense to go for it anymore. Like Spear Hatchet, I think I have vines on this one. Like I wouldn't go vines on this build anymore. I'd go Stone Form. Like, Vines is too sketchy with this kind of build. Like, you already have good enough chase. I don't think you need it. Like, BB Fire stuff, I wouldn't go Vines on it anymore. I'd probably go Stone Form. Like, that change, like, makes it so any build that was, like, debating between the two, you probably just go Stone Form now, basically. Bro, you have Spear. Stamina is not a concern. They made Spear... It is a concern now, Crush. You have to play it, though, to feel it. Spear's tracking is a lot worse, so you have to use dodges to actually catch up to people, and it doesn't gen flat stam anymore, except for Cyclone, so it actually feels like you have a stam management problem with Spear now. Which is crazy to think about, but it does feel like that. Vines nerf? Yeah, you can't use it with Purifying Heart anymore, Happer. Yeah, I can pull up video for that Bun sent me. So this is Purifying Heart. And stam out before. Takes about 4 seconds to charge to stam back up to full. And then stam out after. Use Vines. And then you see that the debuff's here and it's taking about twice as long to charge back up. Hatchet tracking is 100% overtuned and needs a nerf, by the way. Oh yeah, Hatchet's super, super, super strong. Like, Hatchet's tracking is actually better than Spear's tracking now, which is, like, crazy to think about. Do you have a Great Axe Warhammer build on the gear sets? I do, we just finished it. Oh. Here we go. Here. I would argue it's not a Great Axe Warhammer build anymore, it's a Warhammer Great Axe build. By that I mean you're main-handing Warhammer now, you don't main-hand Great Axe anymore. Because of the con change, and then I committed with the con change and I was like, go 200 con. Like, go 200 con, bump up the strength, actually do damage. You no longer gain that, like, grit, like, immunity stuff, so, like, why even bother? Like, if you're using your heavy attack, you'll have grit anyway. Like, so you're missing out on some damage reduction and some extra health, but then you're actually doing, like, way more damage with this. I love Warhammer, so it's a Bruiser type build. Yeah, it plays as a Bruiser. That's why it's titled Bruiser. So it's like, you're in there all the time, in the melee, constantly doing damage. You need to be constantly healed. You'll have a decent amount of lifesteal built into it, and it's just, like, really good for dealing damage to large amounts of clumps and finishing off targets. Do you have a place where I could see all the build links? Not yet. Is there a way to do that easily? I'm wondering if I could put that in the Discord, but it's going to be on the website in like a week, so I feel like it's better just to do this where I keep sharing the link for now, and then like, then I don't have to, then it'll all be in like one repo basically when it's on the website. I didn't even notice the title, my bad. Yeah, it's the only one I've titled Bruiser, all the others are like errors, anything like that. Most of the builds are just like the name of the stuff. I think I still need a fire staff one. BBVG link. Sure. Do that. There's the BBVG Serenity one. Yeah, I can share the Serenity one. So this is like what I worked on for the most part today. I'm still missing Abyss, Fire Staff, and Tank builds. Micro Scorpion build should have Stopwatch, you think, over Onk? I mean, that's a really easy swap, but why? I don't even run Shield Bash in this build. Is it really with Stopwatch is how people run it? Like, I feel like Upheaval is so good that you almost don't want to run Shield Bash anymore. CC Scorp should. It only affects your stun duration, right, though? And your only stun is Shield Bash. Yeah, oh wait, I messed this up. Don't you go... You don't go perf with this, you go this. Yeah, maybe you do run Shield Bash with this build, actually, and then you go Stopwatch. Yeah, I could see that. For like a util build, it kind of makes more sense. Why does it say I could have one more perk slot when it says 20 out of 20? Like, bugged. This is 514. I put in one. Okay, no. I could have one more. Yeah, 5. That's right. I don't know why it says I could have one more. Feel like something like that. You have a link to the Greatsword Hatchet build? Yeah. There. Why is it so long? Wait, why did it link a YouTube video? What? Wait, I feel like I didn't link the right thing. I'm so confused. It says YouTube on there. Well, I don't know if that worked or not, but there's a different link. Healing build. Yeah, now I can see why you guys want it in a repo. I should probably just do the Lifestaff Rapier one real quick because it literally takes 2 seconds to change this build into a Lifestaff Rapier build. I just need to hit copy. And go to gear sets, Lifestaff Rapier, unequip the Life Taker, and then put on our Bist Rapier. There you go. Bis. War still on the screen? Oh, thank you. I forgot about that. War is off the screen now. It redirects to the build and has YouTube in the thing? I don't understand. It's New Road Buddy Lakes being weird. Great Sword plus Spear is still good in PvP. I am very strongly against Great Sword Spear. There are a few players that have tried to make it work, and I think it works up to a point, and then it like the build fights itself, and it doesn't work super well. Because Great Sword and Spear kind of want to both be used in similar situations, and neither one has a way to gap close. So it's like it's good if people like don't run away from you, but the instant people try to run away from you, it's not going to feel good. So I'd argue just go SNS with one or the other, and it will feel better. But you can run it. This is also one where you could go 250 con, or you can go 200 con and then go higher focus, but I think 250 con feels pretty good for healer. Good attacking war tonight was literally a 3-minute speed run. That's what most of the wars have been. They've been 3-minute speed runs on attack, and they've been war camps on defense. Like, the war that we have tomorrow is our first legit war. But the problem is I don't have wonderful gear. I have okay gear, but it's not wonderful, so I don't know how it's going to really go. And we're not a sweaty company at all. I mean, we're not trying to sweat either. It's the same thing. It's just like, if you kind of know what you're doing, you're just rolling people that don't know what you're doing, no? Like, that's why we talk about tiers in PvP all the time. Like, Crush, even if you don't know what you're doing, you're still probably a T3 level company. And, like, a T3 level company will shit on any T4 or T5 level company. Like, we kind of know what we're doing in my company right now, but not everyone knows what they're doing, and I consider us to be, like, a low T2 level company. So. Ooh, we have 12k now. Crush is going to be like, you have only 12k. What? You... These are still selling for this much? It's ridiculous. I think the Onyxes are still selling for a lot too. Yeah, they still are. It's like also ridiculous. But it's because life modes are like through the roof on this server. Wait, why are Brilliant Carnelians this cheap? They shouldn't be that cheap. I could literally just make money off of buying brilliant carnelians and just selling them to cut brilliant carnelians. Like that's worth like 80 gold or something like that. And if I do a buy order for it, there's none on the market right now. But those are like worth something. Yeah, the problem with fragment stuff is it's so boring. Like, fragments are so boring. Like, that's the only time I would say it's okay to use a automatic tool to create those, because fragments are like actually terribly boring to create into the gear. But you definitely could make money off of that right now. I want to put in buy orders for moats again. What are life moats at too? Yeah, I'm never getting a buy order in for life moats, am I? Slow moats I could. I did have a devious idea. Because this is like a thing that I could just buy up all the life moats up to like 4, and then I would make 25%. And people would probably pay for them still. Like, we actually just have like a short on, like, there's just not enough life anything on the server. It's kind of funny. Hi, could you please help me to share with me a build mage I can level to 65. I don't do nothing for damage. Sorry, my English. I'm from Spain. Just put all your stats in the int. Like, put every stat in the int and go fire staff. If you're leveling up. Like, everything. Just go all int, go full light. I don't really have a build for it specifically, but as long as you're like light and you are full int, like, you will do damage with fire staff. And if you need to level up your fire staff, then this area, I think it's, I don't know where the elite zone is. No, it's not there. This area is good for leveling up weapons, and then this up here is good for leveling up weapons. I feel like that's it for the most part. I got the blood drinker today. I think I want to get the artifact for mad gauntlets too, and then I can do like a BG flail, like fun build and OPR kind of thing, not just tanking everywhere. But I need to put in buy orders real quick. I'm sorry, already level 65. Sorry for my English. Oh, no, it's fine. If you're already level 65, just make sure you have the weapon leveled up. I do 100 to 150 con. Do the highest gear score and most powerful fire staff you could find, and then do the lowest gear score rapier you have, which doesn't make sense, but it will boost the damage of your fire staff. Like, that's just how I would start off with it. Like, that's just a easy build to get up online, very budget, and will have good damage output. So, like, what most fire staffs are doing right now is they're going like 500 int, and then they go like 100 con to 150 con, and that's it. It's a very simple build. What conditioning should I go on hoplite armor? Between flame and slash. Pretty much always slash, and then just do normal gems for the flame side. Just works out to be more consistent that way. I think I'm gonna call it after the buy orders too, because it's starting to get late for me. Actually, what are air motes at? If these are dirt cheap, I could just power level a thing. They're pretty cheap. What are water motes at? Yeah, I could just do that. But earth. It's really cheap. And then we need gold ore. All the gold ore in the world. Silver ore. Shouldn't be that expensive, so I'm not gonna buy it. It's an easy market to take advantage of, actually. Can I flip these for something? Yeah, but it's not much. Spear Hammer has very poor synergy damage-wise. Yeah, Spear Hammer doesn't really make sense. Spear doesn't usually function super well with Bruiser, but if you are gonna go like a Spear Bruiser, I do it with Hatchet. Hatchet seems relatively strong right now. It has really good synergy with Spear. And yeah, I'm probably gonna call it there. See, is anyone up still? Because I want to go eat and go to bed. Boone's up. And Dev is up. Rug. I haven't seen Rug in a bit. Apples is up. Beats is up. Amish is up. Oh, Beats is doing a raid. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I don't want to raid Apples. But Apples is like entertaining, but like his gameplay is not it. So Beats is in the raid though. He's a chill dude. All right. See you guys.